Hello fam, welcome to another segment again with Emmy John. Today let's look at how to apply these major, minor, diminished, augmented and suspended chords. I'm just going to give you a glimpse idea of what they are like, and then in my 6 months training we break down everything on the rest of them. Thank you for joining my YouTube channel. I really do appreciate it. Please don't forget, like, share, comment, push this video, drop your comments if you like this video, and if you have been liking my comments, please keep sharing. I really do appreciate. So without wasting more time, we started from the major triad chord. The major triad chord, we know that whenever we are playing a 1, our major triad chord is very important when playing the 1. Now let me look at, let me just do something shortly, then I dive a bit deeper into that, looking at extensions. So that's that. So the major triad chord has the 1s. You could play your 1 by making it an octave chord. So C, G, C. So that's the 1. No matter the key on. That's the 1. Same thing goes for the minor chord. So when you're on the minor chord, same chord goes for it. So that's that. Very, very important. That's that under the minor chord. Then from there we'll look at the diminished chord. So when playing the diminished chord, one of the perspectives of the diminished chord is that the diminished chord functions as a dominant chord with a flat 9. I know it may sound complicated, but let me look for a way to make it very easy. Now, remember when we were talking about the types of chord, we looked at the last chord, which is a 6th chord, as a dominant chord. Now, I said a dominant chord is a 5 chord, which is, it functions as a 5. If you have followed my video on how to practice, I talked about this. So the dominant chord is like the 5 chord. It's a 4-note chord that functions as the 5. Why? Because of the presence of the flat 7. It gives that feeling of that note that wants to descend. It wants to descend. So it's looking for where to resolve to. Then resolve down to the 1. But if we are playing on the key of C, our 5 will be G. G will be our 5. Because on the key of C, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you make your 5 a dominant by playing the 1, major 3, perfect 5th, and then the minor 7th. It's a 4-note chord. So it functions as a 5. I want to raise up to the 1. So 5. I can still do. I can still do. I could still also do. So these are advanced stuff I looked at in my 6 months piano training. So let's just make it very easy. I want to make it easy for everybody to understand, as my videos have always been. So looking at the dominant chord, I'm still explaining the diminished chord. When you have a dominant chord with a flat 9, where is the 9? This is 1, this is a 2. When the 9 have been flattened, to have this is called a diminished voicing. So when you're asking how do we use a diminished chord, the diminished chord acts as a dominant chord with a flat 9. So you want to use a diminished chord, think of a dominant chord. I don't know if you understand. So you want to use a diminished chord, first thing you have to think about is think of you playing a passing note, or thinking of a 5 chord, which the function of the 5 want to resolve to the 1. So when I do like this, it resolves to the 1. So 5 that want to resolve to the 1, 5 to the 1. So now the diminished chord is very wide and very tricky. One of the perspectives I look at the diminished chord from is a family under the dominant chord. It's a family member under the dominant chord. So see this chord now. Instead of doing this, we can invert. We can invert. If you know what an inversion means, inversion simply means taking the root note of the chord and exchanging it to a note higher or to an octave higher. So when I pick the diminished 7 chord, don't forget this was initially the dominant chord of the key of G. We only flatten the 9. This is the 9. The 9 is the 2. So you flatten the 2 or the 9, gives us this. So we remove the 1 and place it on this. Then we have the 1 back as the root. because the one must tell us the key or the function of where we're going to. So that's it. You can invert it by taking this upwards. So taking G sharp, an octave higher, we have this. This is it. You could also invert it again by taking B higher. We have. You can also take D higher. You could take F higher. Same way. Then back to the 1. So it simply means that whenever I'm holding the 5 chord, I'm thinking of the diminished with the flat 9. So the diminished chord, that's where the diminished chord comes in. Resolves down to the 1. Again. So what am I holding? Let me spell out the chord. So I'm holding down the dominant 7 flat 9 of the key of G. But for beginners, let me make it easy. So I'm holding G and F on my left hand. On my right hand, I'm holding down B, G, F, and A flats. So this is like your bonus 5 chord. 5 chord, resolving to the 1. Now, there is something again you have to think about when talking about the diminished. Remember I said, when you want to treat how this chord function, they are very wide. You see how we are already still dwelling on diminished. Same thing goes for the augmented, the suspended, and then the dominant. The dominant is the worst of it all. The dominant is a wider family that enables you to do more, like the upper structures, the flat 9, the sharp 11, and the rest of them. So under the dominant chord, it's open. So these are topics that you can't just treat just at once or in one time. That is why majorly all these topics and more are treated in my 6 months piano training that's currently on. Join in, send a DM to me, and then let's have you register joining in. No matter when you're joining in, you will be added separately and to kick off at your own pace. That's what the aim looks at. Then I also look at taking out this stuff, taking my time, breaking them down slowly like this for you. I break them down to ensure you understand how this works. Trust me, if I want to finish all the application of this on YouTube, then this video should be like almost 1 hour or more. But trust me, I can't spend the whole 1 hour segment explaining. What I can give you is just a short form of exercise and how I think. Then you can broaden them out. But to really know deeper ideas of the function, the role of this chord, join the 6 months piano training. So let's go back to that, still on the diminished. Now, as we said, the diminished is a family member to the dominant chord. It functions as a dominant chord with a flat 9. Doesn't limit that the diminished chord can be used independently. Now, as it works as this. So it simply means that whenever I'm holding the B diminished on my right hand, my root note, what I should be thinking as my root, should be G. At the same time, we could have double diminished, simply meaning I can hold this as my root note. Don't forget this is the double diminished chord. So if I can hold this as my root note, I can also hold B flat as my root note. I could also hold C sharp as my root note. I could also hold E as my root note. Alan Mervell looked at this in diminished harmony relationship. So when I studied an Alan Mervell course called, I think, Advanced Masterclass, yes, that was where he treated diminished harmony relationship. That was where I got to understand deeply how the diminished really works. And then I'm trying to break it down in a way that all my students or those who are learning from me can be able to understand deeply without going that high. So see this now. So it means that when I do this, it could also be this. Can we practicalize them? If this is a 5, then it's resolving down to the 1. Remember what we talked about, 5? Resolving down to the 1. If this is a 5, remember it's going down to the 1. 5 to the 1. Remember, if I look, if this is our 5, it can also resolve to the 1. See now, see what I did? So it's our 5. What if this is our 5? So it takes us back to A. This is an advanced concept, very much advanced concept. But if you understand this, then there are stuffs on that diminished that will be very, very easy for you. This is called diminished harmony relationship. How does diminished work over different harmonies? That's basically that. But for now, as a beginner, you should understand that the root of every diminished is this. The root note where you're holding from, think of it as a major third. The note backward, that's how it works to your 1. This is just one of the perspectives. There are more to this, but as a beginner, understand this that this is it. So that's how the diminished work. Let's look at the suspended chord. So let's look at suspended before augmented. The suspended chord, we have two kinds of source. A suspended chord is a chord that doesn't have the presence of the third. Now, I said something in How to Practice Volume 2. I said that the notes that identify the type of chord you are playing. What shows us the type of chord you are playing is the presence of the 3 and the 7. The 3 can be a major 3 or a minor 3. The 7 can be a major 7 or a minor 7. If you don't understand this, you're going to have a problem. So I suggest you go back to How to Practice Lesson 1 and Lesson 2. Understand them before building blocks on this, so that I can really understand where we are coming from. We are growing from somewhere, so you don't ask too many questions. But almost more of these are dwelt more in the 6 months piano training. So let's do this. So the sus2 is a chord outside or minus the 3 or 7. So imagine a chord that does not have a 3 or a 7. It means that the chord is just there. So it builds suspense because it's not clarified. It's not telling us the type. It's just floating on the air. That is the function of the suspended chord. Therefore, it gives it a unique color or a unique value. It makes the chord. This is called the sus2. Why? The presence of the 2. We have two kinds of sus chords, sus2 and sus4. So therefore, as I said before, because of the absence of the 3, it gives the chord a unique color. It makes it dynamic. It can enter any type of chord. So it means that I can play the sus2 over the 1. I can play it over the 4. I can play it over the 5. I can play it over the 6. I can play it over the 7. I can play it over the 1. It can enter any type of chord, even down to the minors. So let's say I'm playing the see this. Even down to the minor 3. So let's say I'm playing a very simple song like so I'm playing You've Made a Way. Don't mind the way I'm approaching the chord. Let me make it very easy. And then apply the sus2 to it. So you made a way. Still the sus2. Only sus2. You made a way. I want to play the 6 minor. When the back was against the wall. And it looked as if it was. So see what I did. So instead of doing and it looks, I did and it looked. So still I maintain the sus2 chord. It was over you made a way. Still the sus2. So what am I trying to achieve? I'm trying to inform you that the sus2 chord can go for any kind of chords you are using. That's the beauty of the sus2. Then the sus4 acts as a dominant chord because of the 4 in it. It creates a tension. It's looking for where to resolve to the 1. So whenever you're thinking of sus4, bear in mind that you are approaching it as a 5. So it's your finishing 5 chord. If you don't want to play your advanced voicing like me, if you don't want to do, so you can just play your simple sus4. Then resolving down to the 1. Don't forget this is sus4. I only double the roots. So 4 to the 1, 4 to the 1. That's basically that. Should I continue or should we take a break here and do more with time? I wanted in this tutorial to spell out how to use all of them. That is one. Then also I wanted to look at the other quantity. Chords are divided into 2 types of chord and then the quantity of chord. That is chord quality and chord quantity. Inside chord quality, we are looking at the types of chord. Inside chord quantity, we are looking at extensions. What are those notes you can add to the chords? Example, if I pick a major chord now, if I want to add other notes to make it a quantity, quantity has to do with numbers. So if I add this is a 7, the B makes it a 7, 9, 11, 13. How do we actually voice these chords? So when somebody say I'm playing a major 11 chord or a minor 13, how do we actually play them in reform? This is what I'm going to explore in the next video. That's why I said taking a YouTube video like this may not be able to spell out everything at once. That's why it is very important enrolling the 6 months piano training. I can do my best to give you tips here, but full dose are all in the 6 months piano training. Thank you so much for those who are joining and those who will still join. I really do appreciate you. Join in and let's move at your pace. Please don't forget to comment on this video. Can I see your comments? Comment on this video. Share this video. Like this video. Let's get this video growing. Last video got me 14,000 views. Can we get, if possible, 30,000 to 50,000 views? It's achievable. Please, let's share this video. Let's look at the last type of chord and then we call it a day here. Then in my next video, I will look at extensions or chord quantity. So now let's look at the augmented chord. The augmented chord is a major chord but with a sharp 5. Let me repeat again. The augmented chord is a major chord but with a sharpened 5. One trick you can use for the augmented chord, use it as your 3 when going to the 4. Let me give us a very simple secret. How to use the augmented chord? There are 2 ways. But number 1, see it as your 3 when going to the 4. So I'm playing my 3. I use the key of C because the key of C is the most convenient key anybody can understand. When we want to learn piano, we always start from C. Not that I cannot apply on B flat, E flat, A flat, F sharp, and the rest. No. But I use C as a case study to reach everybody. So see this. Don't forget we did in the lesson, be able to do it on all keys. Very, very important. Know how to do it on all keys. One thing that have worked for me is that anything I'm doing, I can replicate it on all keys. So it gives me this freedom to be able to reapply, remove, change stuff, add more stuff, beautify, do some exchanging, do some substitutions. That's basically what it works as. So please do your best to work on all these stuff on all keys. Don't just limit yourself to just your key F, G. No, try out other keys and you'll see how your playing will begin to sound after a while. Trust me. Okay, so let's continue. The augmented chord, see it as a 3, that's perspective 1. Perspective 1, see it as your 3, always going to the 4. You could also see it as your 5 to the 1. So see my 5. I want to play my 5, I use the augmented chord. That's the augmented chord of the key of G. That is G, B, and E flat. That's perspective 1. Perspective 2 for the augmented chord, I dwelt more on this in my 6 months training, but let me give you just a little secret from here. See the augmented chord as a family under the dominant chord. Simple. So we looked at major, minor, diminished, augmented, suspended, and dominant. The major is independent. The minor is independent. The suspended chord is independent, but to an extent also. The suspended chord is independent because it's on its own. Then we looked at the dominant chord is on its own as a different family. But you see that remaining two, augmented and diminished, see them as a family under the dominant chord. I didn't learn this in any school. Somebody might ask, how did I didn't learn this in any school. When I went to school, what we were able to do was to give us the theoretical explanation. But when I sat down in studying and applying, I got to understand that, if you check the augmented chord, it's actually an extension of a dominant chord. Let's do an example. Let's be the augmented chord of the key of F. See this chord. This chord looks as if I'm playing a dominant 7 with a sharp 5. It creates dissonant voices. It creates other beautiful color to your 5. That's why in jazz, that's why jazz focuses more on dominant, rootless voices, especially the dominant voices. Why? The dominant voicing gives you this freedom to express yourself more and add all these altercations of chord. When you hear something like, so all these kind of chords, they are family under the dominant chord. That is why jazz musicians have more edge. Why? They understudy the dominant chord and have deeper understanding of how the diminished, augmented, and the rest of the chords function under the dominant chord. It opens you, it broadens your vision, and broadens it broadens your knowledge, wisdom, and then understanding, and then teaches you how to apply, which is wisdom. So that's basically that. So I see my augmented chord as an extension under the dominant chord. So these are piano basics that you must know as a musician. If you don't know this, you have an issue. Thank you so much. I want to stop here. I'm already sweating. I want to stop here. Feel free to comment, subscribe, and then join my online piano training. I really do appreciate you all. Thank you so much. Thank you for the comments. Thank you for the likes. I am indeed really, really grateful. Thank you so much, fam. Please don't watch it without subscribing. I love you, fam. God bless you. Emmy John.